and welcome to The Print. Yesterday evening, the Cabinet Committee on Security, in a diplomatic response to the Pahalgam terror attack that claimed 26 lives, put the Indus Water Treaty, which was brokered between India and Pakistan by World Bank, on abeyance. To understand what exactly does it mean, what is this Indus Water Treaty, and how it will impact both India and Pakistan, we have with us Mr. PK Saxena, former Indian Commissioner for Indus Water. Mr. Saxena has been associated with talks on Indus Water Treaty for the last 20 years. In fact, he was first associated with Indus Water Treaty matters in 2005 during secretary-level talks with Pakistan on the Tulbul navigation project. Welcome to The Print, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sir, my first question, if you can explain to our viewers, what does this Indus Water Treaty talk about? What is it? And yesterday's CCS decision to put the treaty on hold, what does it mean? What does it mean for India and what does it mean for Pakistan?
Yeah. To get into the nitty-gritty of entire thing, we have to go back to 1947 when both the countries got independent. So what happened was, like, entire Indus system was planned as a single unit. Once the partition took place, a major part of the irrigated system went to Pakistan and control went to us. Then there were a lot of disputes and ultimately World Bank intervened. World Bank brokered the two countries, the talks between the two countries, and finally we could come out with the Indus Waters Treaty, which actually helps us, dividing the waters of Indus system between the two countries. So this treaty was signed in 1960, and in a nutshell, there are 6 rivers in the entire system, which is Ravi, Vyas, Satluj, and Jhelum, Chenab, Indus. So the 3 rivers, which is Jhelum, Chenab, and Indus, they went to Pakistan. The entire water was given to Pakistan, and the waters of Satluj, Ravi, and Vyas, it was given to us. But there was a catch. Catch was like what India got is the water of this Ravi, Vyas, and Satluj. It was in absolute terms, that entire water was ours. But what happened was, the water which was given to Pakistan, India also got some right on that. Those rights are like India can generate hydropower from that waters, and it is unrestricted right. India can go for some irrigation crop area. India can develop that irrigated crop area out of the water, and India can create some storage. So there are certain rights. We will come to it a little later also. So the problem lies there. So there is no dispute on Eastern River because water is ours and we are using it, and we have actually utilized the entire system of water which had been given to us.
Eastern rivers, the 3 Eastern rivers.
Eastern rivers, those are 3 rivers, which is Ravi, Vyas, and Satluj. We have constructed dam on each of the 3 rivers. That is, Pong Dam on Vyas, and Satluj. On Satluj we have Bhakra, and we have Ranjit Sagar on Ravi. So we have utilized that system. As far as western rivers are concerned, whenever we wanted to utilize our right on those rivers, Pakistan objected, and Pakistan had been given right to object. Under the treaty, whenever we construct a project, when we decide to construct a project, the information is shared with Pakistan 6 months before we actually do the river works.
That the treaty mandates, sir. The Indus Water Treaty mandates that.
Under the treaty, this provision was there. We have to share, and we have been continuously sharing all those information on the project which we are constructing. So Pakistan can raise the objection, and we try to resolve at the commissioner level. Commissioner level is the level 1 in the entire dispute mechanism. So there are instances where both the commissioner have actually resolved the matters. But if we are not able to resolve, then the matter goes to secretary level, and then it goes to third party. Third party means neutral expert and
Court of arbitration.
World Bank has the limited mandate. I want to make it clear again because a lot of people were asking this. World Bank has no role other than to appoint the neutral expert and court of arbitration. And I repeat this again. Unlike Pakistan says that World Bank is custodian of the treaty and World Bank has this, World Bank has no power other than this. So World Bank can appoint the neutral expert or court of arbitration as per the provisions given in the treaty. World Bank has no even World Bank does not have absolute power how to appoint that. There is a systematic process under which they can appoint that. And then the matter goes on. So after some time, what Pakistan's mindset is, Pakistan does not want development in the valley, in the Jammu and Kashmir. For the reason being, unless there will be resentment, their nefarious designs will not be successful. So the best thing to do is to stall the development. So whenever we started constructing any project, Pakistan created some objections, and their intention was to drag it to the third party, and possibly to the court of arbitration so that they can get a stay. In Kishanganga also, they got the stay for around 2 years or so. So this was their prime intention. And later on, we started realizing that this treaty is actually not serving the purpose. Rather, it is this treaty was actually signed as a gesture of goodwill, and it is not serving the purpose, and it is being used as a tool, political tool against us and against our development.
Right.
So after some time, we still dragged, but ultimately, at some time there will be a flashpoint, and that flashpoint was yesterday.
So is putting the Indus Water Treaty on hold the first step towards abrogating the treaty?
This may be. I feel that this is the first step towards abrogation, because we actually, you are well aware of this fact. We last year or so, in 2022, we have invited Pakistan for a renegotiation. So, but Pakistan, for some reason, is not willing to renegotiate that treaty, and they are giving several excuses. So ultimately, renegotiation is not being happening. Right. So ultimately, there has to be a time when this treaty is a proverbial albatross around our neck. So certainly, we will have to, shelve this treaty. So this may be the first step. Yes, you are very right. So either there are two possibilities. Either they come for negotiation, and if they don't come, there is the possibility that we can abandon that.
But sir, because it's a treaty that was signed between India and Pakistan, can India walk out of it unilaterally? I mean, is there a legal provision for that?
Absolutely. You are very right, and you have raised a very right question. Under the treaty, we don't have such provision. In fact, the treaty clearly says that this treaty is perpetual. Article 12 clearly mandates that this treaty will be, unless this treaty is signed by another treaty duly ratified by the government, this treaty will remain in force. So this is one thing. But then there are possibilities, because like Article 62 of Vienna Convention of Treaties, it clearly says that under circumstances under which the treaties have been signed are not valid now, we have right to abrogate that treaty. So we can use that part, and ultimately, because this treaty was signed in an atmosphere of goodwill, and that does not prevail right now. So we have sufficient reason to walk out of the treaty.
Okay. And sir, if India walks out of the treaty, so how does it impact Pakistan?
It is surely going to impact Pakistan, because it's a kind of, a protection mechanism for Pakistan. Protection mechanism for anything that India can do. Whether India does it or not, that is a separate thing. But then there is a protection mechanism. For example, treaty imposes number of restriction on design of the project. It imposes number of restriction on how project is operated. It provides a cap on storage. It provides a cap on irrigated area. Once all those caps are gone and all those restrictions are gone, India is free to take care of its own interest and free to develop as per his own choice. So definitely, when India start doing it, so Pakistan is going to hurt. There will be their water availability will be affected. Their time of availability will be affected, and that's how treaty came into picture.
Right. So I'm coming back to the point that you just raised, that now that the treaty has been put on hold, so that also means that right now there are no restrictions on India. So what can India do to, make use of this?
Yes, India actually now, the thing is that if the treaty is not there, the first thing that actually happens is we stop sharing of data. the treaty we
The
have to
discharge data you're talking about.
which is every month, and then India is required to share the extraordinary information of extraordinary discharges that flows to Pakistan, which means simply means it is the flood data. So
Right.
we stop doing it. So that will not help us, but then that is definitely going to hurt Pakistan. Their entire population before Marala, between our border to Marala, are living in floodplains, illegally living in floodplains. So what happens is we give information and then they get it vacated. If we stop giving this information, then definitely this population will get affected. Number one. Number two, which is most important, is with no restrictions on those restrictions which have been put on us on design and operation are not very generous. So, in whatever we used to design, whatever we used to operate, is actually it was helping Pakistan. So once we start, once those restrictions are removed, our projects will definitely be more optimum and they will be helpful to India's interest, and definitely they are going to affect Pakistan. There are a number of other issues also. For example, in Jhelum, in our valley people are actually suffering from flood every year, almost every year, because of the fact that we cannot construct storage on Jhelum main.
Okay.
And
Because
perfect,
it's part of the Western River, which has gone to Pakistan.
which is prohibited on no storage is permissible on Jhelum main under the treaty. So once we start doing flood control measures, so we definitely will require the storage. So we will be able to construct storage now, and immediately beneficiary will be people of valley, who will be who will be protected against the flood. Things, and there are a number of other things like under the treaty, there is a prohibition of interbasin transfer of rivers. So
Okay.
there are number of schemes on which we require interbasin transfer of rivers. So there are a number of schemes in Kashmir as well as other state. So if we start doing interbasin transfer of rivers, then those states will be benefited at the cost of Pakistan.
Right, right. Sir, also one thing I wanted to ask you that India has put it on hold, and now there will be no restriction, and there will be no operational and design related restriction on India as far as undertaking projects are concerned. But having said that, India also needs to expedite work on the ongoing projects on the Western River also, and as well as for instance in the Eastern River on the Unj multi-purpose project, which is under works, to reap the full benefit, of the of the water in the Indus River system.
Obviously, you have done your homework, and I'm very glad to share that we have started expediting our rights which have been given under the treaty. And if you remember, in 2016, we had formed the task force, Minister Office. So we have cleared a number of projects, and most of the projects are under various stages of development. For example, if you see Ratle project, which is around 850 megawatt, Pakaldol, which is 1000 megawatt, there Kwar, and other projects like Sawalkot. Sawalkot will be the biggest project in Indus Basin of 1856 megawatt. So, with a storage of around 1.8 MAF, it is going to serve the around 10,000 or even more thousands of hectare of land in Jammu and Kashmir. So all those things have been planned and they are being put on fast track. So Ratle, I hope we will be able to construct in a couple of years. Those people will be knowing it better than me. And other projects like Piru and Kwar, they are also, construction has begun. Pakaldul, we will be going to finish in a year or so. So those, we have already taken note of that, and those preparation were already going on because we knew that this situation will come sooner or later. So we are even Ojpe, we are talking to states. There are some issues between the states, so we are trying to resolve that. And I'm very glad if you have already heard about it, that Shahpur Kandi has been commissioned, which helped us in utilizing our entire share of Indus Waters. So,
On the Eastern River.
Eastern rivers.
Okay.
So these things are actually already we are working on that, and it will be further fast tracked. I'm pretty sure about it.
Okay. And on the Western River, sir, I mean, once all these projects are ready, we will be able to harness the water for electricity.
Exactly. We have the potential of around 20,000 megawatt in Jammu Kashmir,
Okay.
Indus, and we are using around 6,000 megawatt right now.
Hmm.
Rather one-sixth of the around 3,000 or so. So only one-sixth of the potential is being used by us on Western rivers.
Okay.
These projects like 1,000 megawatt Pakal Dul and our Ratle 850 megawatt 1856, with these projects, we will be able to utilize around 80% of our share of power from that. That will be a big thing.
But sir, all these hydro projects are run of the river projects. I mean, they do not have reservoir storage uh, per se.
With the treaty gone, we can go for reservoirs also.
Okay. I mean, we can go, we can now.
Depending on the technical feasibility and all other factors, which engineers may be knowing it, but
Mhm.
definitely once this restriction is gone, we can go for reservoirs.
Okay. So one thing that, I mean, in this whole debate since yesterday after the CCS decision to put the treaty on hold is missing is China. So if India decides, say, I mean, sometime in near future to abrogate the treaty, won't there be danger from China? Because China is a upper riparian state of many of these trans-boundary riverine systems, including the Indus. In fact, China has built many dams on Satluj and Indus also. So, being the upper riparian, would there be some kind of a risk for India from China?
I don't foresee a big risk from China as far as Indus system is concerned for two reasons. I'm not talking of Brahmaputra, that is beyond the scope of today's discussion. But on Indus system, there are two rivers that flows from China, flows from Tibet rather.
Yeah.
So those are Indus and Satluj. So the area, the catchment area in Tibet is basically the permafrost area. Most of the area is permafrost area, which means they are always covered with the snow, and a very trickle of water, a very minuscule amount of water flows from those rivers in Tibetan territory. So China, I doubt if they will be able to manipulate that water to that extent that it can damage. This is one thing, only from technical point of view. And secondly, even if they do, so Indus River, as you know, belongs to Pakistan. They do it, ultimately they are going to hurt their own friendly country. So Indus, we don't have anything to worry about. On Satluj, if they do, it will, even if it affects, it will be a very negligible effect on us. And we have a big dam on Satluj. So I don't think China will impact us to that extent that we are actually on the receiving end. I doubt about that.
Right. One final question, sir, that now, I mean, because India has put the treaty on hold, can Pakistan challenge us? I mean, take India to court?
They have every right to do so. They have every right, and ultimately, I don't know. Yesterday, Pakistan Prime Minister Office had a meeting. What had come out of it, I'm not aware of those facts, but definitely they are going to explore whatever options are available to them. They may go to UNGA, they may go to court, and we will cross the bridge when we come to it. I think country is in safe hands with a person like Honorable External Affairs Minister and our Honorable Prime Minister. I am that sure that they are well prepared to take that challenge.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and telling our viewers what exactly it means, because it's a very technical subject. So thank you so much again for joining the print.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.